The World Bank was recently busted for giving special treatment to the son of a Trump official. And when I say special treatment, what do I mean? Well, World Bank staff were apparently told to give preferential treatment to the son of a high-ranking Trump administration official after the US Treasury threw its support behind a $13 billion funding increase for the organization, a leaked recording suggests. The recording of a 2018 staff meeting suggests colleagues were encouraged by a senior manager to curry favor with the son of David Malpass, who is now president of the World Bank, but at the time was serving in the US Treasury under Trump. Now, here's the best part. So during the recording, which has left the Washington-based organization facing questions over standards of governance, staff referred to 22-year-old Robert Malpass as a prince and important little fellow who could go running to daddy if things went wrong. Per the recording, we need to manage his education and we need to manage the lemon. So we need to get work out of him, but we also need to make sure that he sees the world. He's probably going to stay a year or 2 years, then he's going to move to a hedge fund someplace. But in those 2 years, we need to make him happy and valuable, and we need to teach him and so forth after all. All right, so then I can go to his daddy and then I get some bonus points. Well, this is probably not the first time that someone was able to enjoy nepotism in order to have access and benefits. The recording also suggests that it may not have been the first time the International Development Bank had hired a family member of an important global figure. Remember, we had a prince before. That is a subject for happy hour, a staff member is heard saying. Now, of course, the World Bank said that it could not confirm the contents of the recording, but folks are still concerned there. The findings raise concern over internal standards at the World Bank Group, which is governed by high-ranking officials from across its 189 member states, and it's holding a spring meeting alongside the International Monetary Fund in Washington this week. And I'm sure they're all going to talk about how people know now that they create positions and opportunities for very wealthy people so that they can curry favor as opposed to hiring the best candidate. Yeah, I guess that's shocking, right? Conscious?
Hey, all the individuals, they got all the beef against affirmative action. They got all the beef against individuals. They feel like they're getting things they ain't rightfully earned through meritocracy. I think that they should be able to really point all their energy, all their time, and all their efforts on this issue right here, because it seems like if that's something you're concerned with, this should be able to take the most of your concern when it comes to being like, hey, you getting something that you ain't get, and you are not the most qualified candidate for that position. It's unfair to the person. You know, that's the same line I thought you was on.
Yeah, and it's also kind of wild how this prince, how they say he's just going to go to a hedge fund after that. It just really shows you that there aren't really expectations or standards that are put in place for nepotism, but also a lot of individuals who are privileged, that they live in this world where opportunities are simply given to them. And yet they love to push this narrative that affirmative action, that we get opportunities. This is how we got into this college, is what Tucker Carlson said of Pearson. All of these stereotypes and narrative that are completely false and are really reflective of the world in which they live. If I recall correctly, Tucker Carlson reached out to Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, asking if he could help Tucker Carlson's son get an opportunity, if he could open a door for Tucker Carlson's son. It's like, this is how that upper echelon works, where they're just given opportunities, yet they want to take what little we should have in terms of if we get any kind of Medicaid or access to food stamps or support, and yet they give everything to individuals who are completely unworthy. Any last thoughts, Conscious?
My last thoughts is conservative contradictions, equal access to all people is probably a good idea. We transport a lot of American ideas out the global community, and I think that when they're able to look back to see where these ideas are coming from, and that we're kind of living very opposite from the ideas that we export throughout this world, I think that it starts to call into question the legitimacy of how we push these ideas, especially when we're able to acknowledge that a lot of foreign governments get behind the American military or American corporate interests, a lot of times at the expense of their own people. And then we see that, you feel me, the apple ain't falling too far from the tree.
Yep, absolutely.